When my life unraveled, I unearthed a resilience I never knew I carried, rebuilding my world in ways I couldn't have foreseen. My name is Nathaniel, and at 36, I believed I had it all: a stable career, a home I'd crafted with my own hands, a wife I adored, and a son who was my entire world. In 2013, at 25, I crossed paths with Sienna, then 23, whose lively spirit and dazzling smile pulled me in like a tide. Her dark locks and contagious laughter turned heads, her boldness captivating me completely. I worked as a pipeline safety inspector, earning a comfortable income, and had bought my first modest house 2 years earlier. Our love story unfolded quickly. Within 6 months, Sienna settled into my home, with my lifelong friend Ryan helping haul her boxes. Ryan and I had been close since middle school, bonded by road trips and late-night talks over drinks. He was the brother I never had, always there, or so I thought. 2 years later, Sienna and I married in a heartfelt ceremony at her parents' vineyard, with Ryan as my best man. His speech about loyalty and enduring friendship now stings like a cruel irony, seared into my memory. Soon after, Sienna pressed to start a family. I hesitated, wanting to solidify our financial foundation, but she argued life couldn't wait. In October 2020, our son Elliot arrived, and fatherhood reshaped me. I adjusted my work schedule, choosing shorter local jobs over high-paying extended contracts to be home more, even if it meant less money. Every second with Elliot, his first words, his small hand gripping mine, his delight when I returned home, made it all worth it. But Sienna began to shift. Her warmth turned to complaints: a faulty dishwasher, Elliot's needs, her mother's judgments. I attributed it to the stresses of new motherhood or postpartum struggles, convincing myself she just needed time to adjust. My older sister, Rebecca, saw things differently. At Elliot's first birthday, when Sienna scolded me publicly for picking the wrong wine for her mother, Rebecca pulled me aside. "When did she start treating you like an employee instead of a partner?" she asked sharply. I brushed it off, insisting Sienna was just stressed, but her words echoed in my mind. Ryan remained a steady presence, fixing pipes, watching games, always around. I thought I was fortunate: a loving wife, a perfect son, a loyal friend. I was mistaken. The truth hit like a tidal wave after a draining 4-day work trip in late 2022. Exhausted from delays and equipment failures, I missed Elliot's preschool dinosaur performance. When I got home, yearning for a shower, Sienna unleashed her anger. She berated me for missing the event, comparing me to a stay-at-home dad from her yoga group. I reminded her my demanding job paid for our house, her car, and Elliot's school. Then in her rage, she revealed a shattering truth: "I only married you because I thought he was yours." The room went still. Elliot glanced up from his toy dinosaurs. My heart turned to stone. "What did you just say?" I asked, my voice cutting like glass. Her eyes widened as she realized her slip, fumbling for excuses, but the truth was out. I tucked Elliot into bed, then drove to Rebecca's, taking leave from work and calling a lawyer the next day. Marjorie Blake, a sharp attorney in her mid-50s, laid out the steps. First, a paternity test to confirm Elliot's parentage. Second, secure my finances, as the house I owned before marriage was protected. Third, collect proof of Sienna's betrayal. I became a sleuth. Our shared phone plan showed hundreds of late-night texts and calls to Ryan, surging when I was away. On our shared iPad, which Sienna forgot to sign out of, I found messages: "I can't wait to see you tomorrow. When's he leaving again? Elliot needs a father who's actually present." I backed up everything online. The paternity test, conducted quietly during a fishing trip with Elliot, confirmed he was mine with 99.99% certainty, flooding me with relief. But the financial betrayal cut deep. Sienna had drained nearly $30,000 from our accounts over a year, plus $15,000 in hidden credit card charges for hotels and restaurants. While I worked hazardous jobs, she and Ryan lived extravagantly on my dime. I secured my finances, redirecting my salary to a new account, and leaving just enough in our joint one for essentials. I confronted Ryan first, inviting him to see a boat. When I presented the phone records and texts, his face drained of color. He admitted the affair started before Elliot's birth. "You were my brother for 20 years, I said, voice steady. And you stabbed me in the back every chance you got. He begged, but I walked away. That evening I showed Sienna the evidence, texts, bank records, credit card statements. She sobbed, pleaded, even offered intimacy to sway me. When I slid divorce papers across the table, her tears turned to threats, claiming no judge would give me custody. I smiled, knowing Marjorie had armed me well. In court, her image as the ideal mother collapsed against my proof. My dedication to Elliot, her financial deceit, and her affair with Ryan. The judge granted me primary custody during the week, with Sienna getting alternating weekends. The house stayed mine, and her siphoned funds weakened her settlement. Her shocked expression as the ruling landed was unforgettable. She believed motherhood would secure her win, but truth won out. The weeks after the initial hearing were chaotic. I stayed steady for Elliot, but inside, I was a tempest of rage and betrayal. Sienna tried every tactic, sobs, threats, seduction. 3 nights after receiving the divorce papers, she showed up at my door, disheveled, begging to reconcile. "Don't ruin our family over a mistake," she pleaded. "A mistake?" I replied. 6 years of deception isn't a mistake. Her tears vanished, replaced by a venomous scowl. "You'll pay for this," she spat. I closed the door, my phone capturing the exchange. Ryan tried reaching out, too, sending texts from new numbers and leaving voicemails pleading for forgiveness. Once he appeared at Elliot's preschool, claiming it was a coincidence. I confronted him, warning, "Come near my son again and I'll bury you in lawsuits." He stayed away. Our mutual friends split. Some were stunned, others unsurprised. A few pushed forgiveness for Elliot's sake. Those friends are no longer part of my life. The custody fight dragged on for months. Sienna's lawyer painted me as a work-obsessed father, but Marjorie countered with proof of my involvement. School events, doctor appointments, photos of me building Elliot's treehouse, and my career shift for family time. The financial records, siphoned funds, secret credit cards, luxury purchases, further unraveled her case. In one hearing, Sienna's mother, Linda, testified, portraying me as a distant provider who valued money over love. Marjorie calmly asked, "Did you know your daughter diverted over $50,000 to hide an affair with Nathaniel's best friend?" Linda froze, and the courtroom hummed. That moment turned the tide. The guardian ad litem, Gail, visited both homes. At mine, Elliot proudly showed off his treehouse and dinosaur-themed room, saying, "Daddy's always here." At Sienna's parents' house, Gail noted tension, arguments, and Ryan's covert visits despite court orders. The final ruling gave me primary custody, with Sienna restricted to alternating weekends and 1 weekly dinner. The house remained mine, and she was ordered to repay some funds, though I doubted I'd see them. In court, Sienna shouted, "I'm his mother," but the judge silenced her, warning of contempt. I stayed calm, knowing Elliot was secure. The aftermath was turbulent. Sienna called relentlessly, alternating between apologies and threats. Her parents tried guilting me, claiming I was destroying the family. Ryan disappeared, his reputation shattered after his boss, a traditionalist, learned of his betrayal. My focus stayed on Elliot. We built routines, breakfast together, homework at the kitchen table, park visits on Saturdays. We began restoring an old fishing boat, with Elliot eagerly handing me tools. One night as I tucked him in, he asked, "Daddy, are you happy now?" I smiled, kissing his forehead. "I am, buddy, because you're here with me." Sienna's manipulations persisted. False claims of abuse or alienation, but my detailed records disproved her. Eventually, her credibility crumbled, and Gail warned her visitation could be further restricted. Over a year later, the divorce finalized and life steadied. Elliot thrived, joyful and safe. Sienna's supervised visits continued, but her resentment consumed her. I rebuilt, a steady job, a calm home, new hobbies like fishing and cycling. The betrayal still lingered, but it no longer defined me. What mattered was Elliot's smile, our quiet nights under the stars, and the certainty that I'd fought for him and won. Life after the divorce wasn't the end I anticipated. It was harder, raw, but also liberating. Sienna refused to honor the court's terms, bending rules at every chance. She'd appear unannounced, demanding Elliot outside her visitation, or call his school claiming pickup rights. Once I found her in the car line on my day. Read the court order, I said, showing the documents I kept close. You're not taking him. She snapped. You can't control me. But her violations only bolstered my case. I documented everything, every call, every overstep. Her parents, Linda and Charles, tried intimidation. Charles confronted me after Elliot's t-ball practice, jabbing my chest. You've shamed us, he growled. We have resources you can't fathom. I shrugged him off. I don't fear people who raised a deceiver, I said, mentioning a restraining order. He backed off. Privately, they grew weary of Sienna's chaos. Her debts, her conflicts, her refusal to leave their home. Ryan, too, collapsed under the weight. After losing his job, he scraped by with temp work, and Sienna's demands shattered their relationship. He texted me once, she's ruining me too. I deleted it. The real crisis hit when Sienna kept Elliot past her visitation, ignoring my calls. Fear gripped me until she returned him, slurring and unsteady, saying, I just wanted more time. I filed for contempt, and her visitation became supervised, either at a center or with her parents present. She sobbed in court, but the judge, citing her endangerment of Elliot, was unmoved. Elliot adapted beautifully, loving our routines. Pancakes on Saturdays, boat restoration, bedtime stories. Gail's visits confirmed his joy. Sienna's parents eventually stepped back, drained by her battles. On social media, Sienna played the victim, but court documents silenced her supporters. By late 2023, Elliot and I found our rhythm. Dinners together, Lego projects, calm evenings. Rebecca, watching us one evening, said, You're an incredible dad, Nate. I nodded, finally believing it. I rediscovered old passions, fishing, guitar, cycling, and even ventured into dating, cautiously, always putting Elliot first. Sienna hadn't destroyed me. She'd forged me stronger. I wonder if she lies awake in her parents' house, alone, with limited time with Elliot, regretting her choices. I don't linger on it. I'm the man who walked through fire, holding my son's hand, both of us free, both of us smiling.